If you have been watching the news, you've likely seen clips of a little yellow robot dog that goes by the name of Spot. Spot is a four-legged robot that is produced by the team at Boston Dynamics. Spot has been hailed as both the future of tech and the downfall of civil society, so it can be hard to understand precisely how this controversial robot dog came to be and why it is causing such a fuss in the news. We're here to clear the air and explain why Spot came to be and how the company has stepped back to let its consumers decide how Spot should be used. But first, don't forget to tap that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all of our latest videos and releases. Boston Dynamics. Let's talk for a moment about Boston Dynamics, the company behind Spot, the robot dog. Boston Dynamics was founded in 1992 as a division that branched out of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or as you likely know it, MIT. The founder, Mark Raybert, was a technology whiz and had attended Northeastern University and earned his degree in electrical engineering before ultimately earning his PhD from MIT in 1977. From there, things began to get interesting, and he accepted a job at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. After a few more career changes, he ultimately became a professor at MIT, which led to his founding of MIT's Leg Lab. What a Leg Lab does is develop and research highly dynamic robots with legs instead of wheels, or other devices that help the robot move. As developments ramped up, Mark Raybert knew it was time to break off on his own. Since then, they have developed robots such as Atlas, BigDog, Handle, Spot Mini, and today's newest addition, Spot himself. These robots were based on a four-legged animal-inspired movement style that allows for more effortless movement over harsher terrain and different environments. These robots are capable of moving where a traditional wheeled robot cannot, and they have begun to make their moves around police and military training operations. The first military robot they produced, the BigDog, was developed for the U.S. Army with DARPA-backed funding. This funding was also used in part to develop DI Guy, a software that outputs realistic human simulations. This AI-inspired software was developed further for the U.S. Navy. Boston Dynamics has been linked time and time again to Pentagon projects and has received much of its funding from the U.S. Defense Department. Which makes sense, as the robots will revolutionize how rescue operations, bomb squads, and even ground battles begin to play out. In 2013, the company was bought out by Alphabet, whose parent company is Google, for an undisclosed amount. But the tech giant would only own them for 4 years when SoftBank, a Japanese telecommunication and tech company, bought them out for another undisclosed amount. Mark Raybert stayed on through all these changes, and he has expressed his happiness and hope for future developments with SoftBank. We can only hope he's right. Meet Spot. But now that we've met the people behind our little canine robot friend, let's actually meet Spot and go over some of his design features. Though it just went on sale in 2020, the robot dog Spot has been in design and research for many years, with the first clips of the robot canine taken to the internet in 2015. By 2019, Wired had even had a little one-on-one time with the dog and had time to test its early movement capabilities. However, in 2019, Spot was for lease only, and Boston Dynamics was more or less clueless about the actual use of their robot dog. Mark Raybert was quoted as saying, "We're going to work together with our customers to figure out what robots are good for." But at the time, an energy company and the international circus Cirque du Soleil were both among early leasers of prototypes of Spot. The energy company was looking for a patrol dog, while the circus had entertainment on its mind. Either way, since then, improvements have been made. Today, it is receiving combat testing, patrol testing, and can even be used as a new set of eyes as a probe. The current Spot model can carry up to 14 kilograms of inspection equipment and can use its advanced balancing system to traverse uncertain surroundings and rugged terrain. The robot can use the stairs and has a unique 360-degree perception map that allows them to plan for and avoid obstacles as needed. On top of that, the robot can easily be controlled by hand or even be programmed with repeatable, autonomous missions. Want to seal the deal? You have the option to add on a self-charging dock, and the robot can even remember to plug itself in for the night to be ready for the next day's mission. Potential uses. These features have been enough to convince the New York Police Department to invest in a unit. And in 2020, the French military was seen using Spot on training missions. Spot can walk up to 3 miles an hour, open doors, and even dance. But many of the early public adopters are using it to support more serious missions. The French military recently held a 2-day training mission where they tested several robotic units to see what impact robots could have on the future of warfare. Spot was one of 3 robotic units tested and was used primarily for reconnaissance with the aid of its onboard camera and mapping system. The training reportedly slowed the operation down but kept troops safer. Additionally, Spot also suffered limited battery and died during a mission, which complicated things. However, the robot dog did increase the distance between potential threats and troops notably. Another notable user of the Spot, until recently that is, was the NYPD. The New York Police Department had purchased or leased a unit they affectionately called BigDog in 2020. The unit was deposed a dozen or so times to act as a remote set of eyes for the police force. But in 2021, the internet became outraged by the use of the dog, and people began to upload videos on how to remove the battery from the Spot unit and how to otherwise disable the robot dog. Many took to Twitter to express their discomfort in the dog unit and the invasion and militarization of the NYPD as a whole. Unfortunately, Spot got a bad rap, which led the NYPD to officially announce that they had broken their $94,000 contract and would be returning the robot dog due to the harsh outcry from citizens. The contract was set to end in August this year, but the department had not yet decided if the robot dog offered them any benefit. We might not ever know, now that Spot has been sent back to the dog pound. After hearing about the NYPD's $94,000 contract, it should be no shock to learn that the cheapest base model of Spot runs $75,000. These are being made commercially available, and upgrades are beginning to roll out. But will we be seeing these robot dogs around your block? Probably not, but you might just work alongside them in the future. We might also see them used in more high-stakes situations if the battery life and image problem can be solved by the fine folks at Boston Dynamics. Do you think Spot is a bad dog? Should he be used by police and military forces? Let us know in the comments down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.